where many people predicted that Manchester United are going to be swept away by Liverpool. It did not happen. And maybe on the balance of play, you could make the argument that United were the better team. And where Manchester United are concerned, Ruben Amorim came out and he said that he saw the right mentality from them, and this is how they should be playing every day. So, Chuck, are we going to see a more consistent Manchester United on the back of the result away to Liverpool at Anfield?
We will if Ruben Amorim keeps the lineup consistent as well. If he's going to change, he's going to get different results, because there's a clip that I saw on social media where Casemiro is looking to the bench and Amorim's like, push up, and you can see he's uncomfortable going that high up, because if the ball goes behind him, he's not going to track back, and he's playing next to Eriksen, two guys who are not necessarily fast. But once you've got Ugarte and you've got Maine, you've got Bruno, it's a different midfield altogether. This is the game against Newcastle. And so I think if you want certain results, keep the core the same, and then demand of these guys to give you a level. Then the other guys have to maintain the level that has been established by the guys who are the starters. But if you keep on chopping and changing with different guys with different attributes, then I think you're playing a toss-up, and you don't even know what you're going to get. Because what we saw, and I think going to Roy Keane's comment in terms of these guys are dishonest, because sometimes they give you a shift, sometimes they don't. What we saw against Arsenal, at least in the first half, was great in terms of they kept them at bay. They were tactically astute. They were disciplined. They knew where to go, what not to do, and they held them at bay for the first half. In the second half, corners, I think they could have done better in both those set pieces. It all fell apart. But what I'm saying, Shay, is that the mentality is there, but you have to have some stability. I think that's the one thing about any level of grit or toughness. Something must be consistent. And if you're always chopping and changing with the players, chopping and changing with the style of play or whatever, then you're gonna have issues or disruptions. But if you're like, De Ligt, this is what you do week in, week out, this is what I want from you, then you have Euro playing the next day, then it's Maguire the other day, then you're like, but these guys don't have the same attributes. But if you're like, if you want to come into this team, play like Dalo. That's different. You've established a level. If you want to dislodge Ahmad, you have to play better than him. You've established a level. But if it's going to be easy to come in, your Xerxes, your Rashford, your Anthony, I mean, I don't know if Anthony's deserved a start, but it's gotten starts nonetheless, because he has to trial out and he has to see is he the guy for him. But now, if you want a level and if you want a mentality, get an established starting 11 and then say, guys, this is how we play. If you want to fight and come and play better than these guys. So I think it's possible, because Anfield has been a place of nightmares. Last season was 7-0, and the other season prior, I think it was 5. We got 5 at home. I don't know, but every time we play against Liverpool and City, we shake and we get beaten, right? So we came back against Man City, and then we floundered in all the other games. There's Bournemouth, there's Newcastle, and then we fought again against Liverpool. So I understand where Roy Keane has his issues about consistency, but I think it can be done.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't. And for a couple of reasons. Reason number one, right, you mentioned the Arsenal performance, particularly that first half. You look at the Arsenal performance, that first half, you look at the result against Manchester City, you look at the result now against Liverpool. Those three teams have something in common, right? And it seems as if Manchester United are able to get themselves up for those games. But the thing about the league, and Ruben Amorim also said that the league maybe does not, or the Manchester United's league position does not necessarily reflect the quality of the side. And for me, it's very simple, and this is a rule I live by as a football fan. The league doesn't lie. The league never ever lies, because you don't just play the big games. This is similar with Arsenal, by the way. If you look at Arsenal's record, Arsenal have not lost in any of the traditional Big Six clashes in their last 16 matchups, right? But Arsenal are not sitting here as league champions, because it matters what you do beyond those games. And so the first thing is that with Manchester United, if you look at the last 5 games, I believe 2 games against Manchester City and Liverpool, they score 4 goals, they get 4 points. In the other 3 games they've played in that stretch of 5 games, I believe it's Wolves, Bournemouth, and Newcastle. 0 goals and 0 points. That to me is an inconsistent team. And why would I suddenly anticipate that they're going to be more consistent? The other thing,
different personnel as well.
In terms of how they play, Chuck, right?
Yeah.
In the game against Liverpool, think about the back three, the 3 centre backs. Lisandro Martinez is the one of those 3 who seems to understand exactly how the coach wants him to play. He is aggressive. He is going further upfield to make his tackles, right? Maguire is too slow to get there. He wants to, but he just can't get there. And then you look at De Ligt, he looks a little lost. He looks very timid in terms of jumping and going for the press. Then you look at someone like Dalo. You're not going to come across Trent Alexander-Arnold every single week, right? Where you're going to have a field day against your defender. And that cross that he put in that Ahmad should have scored from, we haven't seen those crosses from Dalo, so I don't anticipate that because I saw that and it was a brilliant performance. There are mitigating factors. One, I haven't seen you do that much, and two, again, as I'm saying, you're not gonna come across a defender who is not keen on defending as you did with Trent, right? So, Chuck, I don't anticipate that United are suddenly going to become more consistent. I really do think this season is a wash, and this coach needs to get a whole lot of these players out of that club, and hopefully United have the funds to get him players who are going to respond more consistently to his tactics and to his instructions.
I think at some point we're going to turn the corner, and if these performances don't tell you we're going to turn a corner, I don't know what you believe the side can do or what the side can't do. But
not
I think
much, Chuck. Not much.
I think, like I said, consistency. When you've got in the midfield of Casemiro and Eriksen, then you don't have the same industry that you have with Menu and Ugarte. So I think when the team is settled, then you can make changes and you can expect the same. But I think at this point, I get you in terms of they were up for those games. They were up for the game against City and Liverpool and Arsenal, but not so much so against Bournemouth and the Wolves, and they got punished. But I think at some point we have to say that the ideas are translating, or at least if they're not, then the manager is failing. One of the two must be true. So I think I wouldn't say Amorim is failing at this point, and I think things are going to turn around.